why 401ks are overrated and why you should really be looking at private investments instead. If you study the wealthiest people in the world, the majority of their portfolios and their net worth is made up of private investment. It's not in a 401k. Sometimes it is through an IRA, and so an example of that would be Peter Thiel has a $5 billion Roth IRA, and he did that because you can own assets that are not traditional assets inside of an IRA. So he purchased stock at PayPal, which is a company that he helped found with Elon Musk. They took it public, made a lot of money there, and then he's also invested in lots of other companies since then inside that IRA, and then also just as an individual and through his other companies. But if you look at Bezos, if you look at Elon, if you look at Zuckerberg, any of the people that are in the public eye that are billionaires, almost 90% of their net worth is all wrapped up in their companies. And this is true of most billionaires. Most billionaires get rich in one area, which is going to be a company that they take public, and they will sell shares of that, or they will take loans against it. You know, we've talked about some of those things in other videos. But for the average person, how can you mirror that, or what can you do in order to take advantage of the same things that they are? And so unless you're in Silicon Valley and you're sitting around the table with other people that are starting, huge companies and getting funding, it's unlikely that you're going to have access to those types of investments. So you're going to have to be accredited in order to get access to it for the most part, which means, you make over $200,000 a year if you're single, $300,000 a year if you are married, or you have a net worth of at least $1 million outside your primary residence. So it excludes the equity that you have in your home. And that's going to disqualify, the majority of people. And this is how the SEC helps the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. I'm not about that. I want the average person that has a good head on their shoulders and financial education to be able to get in on private investments just like they were able to back in the 1920s before the SEC passed these laws in the 1930s. How can you do that? Well, you need to be part of a fund-to-funds model, and you need to be working with somebody that's using a 506B, SPV, or Reg D fund to purchase private equity or get into other ventures. And in those, they're allowed to have up to 35 sophisticated investors partner with them on those deals. So that is people that are not necessarily accredited, but have the financial wherewithal to understand the risks that are involved with investments. And you have to sign all the disclosures. You have to make sure that you understand that what you're doing with your money is risky. But if you're partnering with somebody like that, you're in an environment that allows for those things, then you can have access to investments that are going to have really significant upside, like 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x times on your money, especially if you were to get in early on a company that does really well over a short period or term. If you do it the traditional way and you get into a 401k, you might be able to retire one day. I don't know how that's going to work as financial conditions change and the constraints that have existed over the last 50 years change. U.S. dollar gets displaced as the global reserve currency, and interest rates no longer continue to drop over time. There's just a lot of things that are going to change in the environment where people have gotten wealthy, through those other means that were perpetuated by your parents. So, in my opinion, and this is true, especially over the last decade, private investment has significantly outperformed anything that's going on in the stock market. So, we offer this through the Beyond Broke Mastermind. We set up private investments through a Reg D fund, 506B. We have to have a pre-existing relationship with people inside the mastermind, and we provide financial education to help people become sophisticated investors so that they can then participate in the investments with us. So if that's something you're interested in, we would love to have you check it out. It's mastermind.beyondbroke.com. And if not, there are other people that are offering this out there, or you can do it yourself. You just have to figure it out. So look into it, and I hope this was insightful for you. Again, I was sold the BS that is get rich through a 401k for a long time, And now that I understand private investments and have got my investments there, I wouldn't go back.